Welcome, dear listeners, to the Mind Your Language podcast, where we embark upon a journey to explore the incredible world of language and how it is bound to our history and culture. I'm Jessie, your host, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join me on this linguistic adventure. I first conceived this podcast as a project over a year ago. However, it took me a little bit of time to get my ducks in a row, so to speak. But now that I have, I'm very excited to be here with you at long last. As this is the first episode of the Mind Your Language podcast, I wanted to take the opportunity to explain the idea and what I hope this podcast is going to be. I feel that language is the heartbeat of culture. And here on Mind Your Language, I would like to celebrate that in all its diversity. That means exploring the melodic tones of Mandarin to the rhythmic and ancient beauty of Arabic, from the intricate grammar of Latin to the poetic flow of Spanish. We're here to dive headfirst into the tapestry of languages that make our world so rich and vibrant. But Mind Your Language isn't just about the words that we speak. It's about understanding how language shapes our lives, our perceptions, and our connections with one another. It's a celebration of the stories, the idioms, and the quirks that make each language and ear a unique window into a culture's soul. Each episode, we will uncover the fascinating context and history behind different languages, explore their scripts, dive into the intricacies of the grammar and the evolution. We'll also chat with language enthusiasts, experts, and fellow travelers who share their incredible experiences and insights. So, whether you're a language aficionado, a culture enthusiast, or simply someone who's curious about the world, Mind Your Language is the podcast for you. So get ready to travel the world through words, one phrase at a time. And if you're enjoying this podcast, please don't forget to subscribe to regularly join me on this incredible linguistic journey. After all, it was Nelson Mandela who said, "If you speak to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart." So, without further ado, as they say, let's open our hearts, our minds, and our ears to the world of languages and cultures with this, the first episode of the Mind Your Language podcast. This episode is entitled Mind Your Language, a Love Letter to Linguistics. Today, I wanted to take you on a personal journey, a journey into the heart of why I started this podcast and about what I believe the power of words to be. For some reason, language for me has always been more than just the names of things or a means of communication. It has been a magical realm where words have the power to weave stories, convey emotions, and shape our very understanding of the world. In this episode, I want to share with you the why, the beauty, and the power of words has been a lifelong fascination for me and drove me to become an eternal student of language, history, and culture. From memories of childhood reading and rereading the books that I loved, to discovering exotic words as I thumbed my way through the dictionary at school, I grew into someone who was overwhelmed by the beauty of being transported through language. Whether this was an internal journey of emotion or a physical journey to foreign lands, language has always been my compass, guiding me through the diverse landscapes of literature, culture, and the human experience. For me, it's more than just a love affair. It's a lifelong romance with the intricacies of linguistics. In this segment, I delve into my passion for language, deepened over the years through the pages of books, the cadence of poetry, and the rich tapestry of world languages. Each linguistic encounter has felt like a new chapter in the love story, unfolding with every word spoken and written. It was this passion for exploring and learning languages that prompted me to learn Spanish and French and to become a very unworthy of one of the most complex and beautiful languages in the world, Arabic. It was this lifelong exploration that has proved the inspiration behind the Mind Your Language podcast. The inspiration came from a desire to share this profound love of language with fellow enthusiasts. And I would like to take the opportunity then now to set my intention, as they say, and walk you through the inception of the podcast and the vision behind it. This podcast is about creating a space where we can reveal in the beauty of words, explore linguistic wonders, unravel the mysteries of communication and how it connects us. And with regard to connecting through language, I view language as being a bridge that connects us all. And in this segment, I would like to explore how this podcast aims to foster those connections, not just between words and their meanings, but between individuals who share a passion for the intricacies of language. And it is on this point that I would like to make special reference to the ethos of this podcast as a creation. One of the core principles of Mind Your Language is that language is for everyone and from everyone. It's not meant to be founded in a highbrow, elitist look at language, but a celebration of real-world language used by people from all walks of life. So whether you're a seasoned linguist, a casual language lover, or someone who is just dipping their toes into the vast ocean of words, there is a place for you here. The heartbeat of Mind Your Language is the real world language used by people like you and me. In this segment, we'll dive into the stories, the idioms, the slang, the expressions that make up the vibrant tapestry of everyday communication. That being said, where appropriate, you will hear me reference some of those less commonly used words, the ones that usually reside in the realm of the intelligentsia. But fear not. The inclusion and exploration of these terms will be for reasons beyond their pretentiousness or rarity, simply for rarity's sake. It will be because of their beauty, their usefulness, or historical or etymological significance. So, that being said, through Mind Your Language, I hope to build a community where the common love of language becomes a shared celebration. And this brings me to the open invitation for people who would like to participate in this celebration of language. In my opinion, most people have a valuable language story to tell, and one which I would like to hear. It never ceases to amaze me just how many dialects, colloquial terms, accents, and turns of phrase are prevalent in our global society. So, whether it is an unusual phrase that has struck you, or something that you can remember that someone once said, it could even be a line from a film or a poem that you found particularly touching. I would love to hear about it. And as we wrap up this special episode, I want to express my gratitude for you having joined me on this linguistic journey thus far. In this final segment, I would like to turn my attention and look ahead at the exciting episodes and discussions that are waiting for us in the future. In next week's episode, we are exploring a long-held adoration of mine, which is to reconnect with a person who has had an immense influence over our language, which continues up to today. The name of this influence is Julius Caesar, the first emperor of Rome. And with that, the journey of Mind Your Language is just beginning as this episode draws to a close. I would like to invite you to be part of this exploration into the enchanting world of language by following this podcast, which is published weekly on the associated Mind Your Language YouTube channel, as well as segments being available on the Mind Your Language Instagram account, both of which are in the description. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my personal connection with language and the story behind Mind Your Language. Remember, each word carries a universe within it, waiting to be explored. Until next time, my fellow language lovers, keep wandering through the landscapes of words, and as always, remember to mind your language.